So today we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. First, we have to decide how much we want to find out.
Say your uncle in Ohio said something about Kamala Harris is unfit to be a president because he doesn't have a child.
Okay.
That kind of is automatically demoted.
So let's say in this case you want to find out at a level of around 7.
Right, and just start posting this information, be like, Harris is blah, blah, blah.
That's all going to be demoted 100%. The civic classifier is strong.
And then I bring it down all the way to number 7 on the around line. And there we have it right there in the intersection point.
If at least a couple of items that a person has created has violated civic classifier, then they're also red listed.
As you can see, the more you around, the more it is that you're gonna find out. If you stay down here, if you never around, you're never gonna find out.
Well, we all know since 2016 and probably before, companies like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter before Elon, and any other mainstream social media network has been actively tilting the scales in the favor of the Democratic candidate, whether that be through a variety of ways. The hundreds of millions of dollars people like Mark Zuckerberg donate to elections in states in which he doesn't even live, the shadow banning, the unfair rule enforcement, the outright banning of individuals who may share information that goes against the approved narrative. Anything that makes Joe Biden or Kamala Harris look bad is absolutely suppressed. You've probably been thinking, wow, this must have been suppressed. There must be something going on right now. Well, a Facebook engineer, Meta engineer, just dropped the absolute truth bomb and accidentally admitted that they're doing exactly that still in 2024. And we're going to check that out after a quick word from this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Look, it's 2024. If you aren't using a VPN yet, you're completely missing out. And Private Internet Access is the one I use on all of my devices. If you've been following the news, you see that censorship, websites, apps are getting shut down in certain countries, all sorts of craziness. Well, a VPN helps you never have to worry about that. Private Internet Access also protects you from the prying eyes of hackers, internet service providers, and others that can view your personal data. Perhaps also just as importantly, Private Internet Access allows you to access region-restricted content from all over the world. Streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and more have different library options based on where you're located, and some shows simply cannot be accessed if you're not in the target location. Happens to me all the time. Many sports events also have regional blackouts. Well, VPNs can be a convenient way to make sure you're getting the content that you're paying for. Private Internet Access also allows you to protect an unlimited amount of devices all at the same time, so your entire household with a single subscription. And I've been working with Private Internet Access so long that I have an absolutely massive discount available to my viewers. Link in the description below. Get Private Internet Access today using my link. Save huge, protect your computers, access all the content that you've been paying for, and ensure that your internet is never censored. If you don't have a VPN yet, make sure you get Private Internet Access. It's the VPN I use on all my devices. Senior Meta engineer reveals anti-Kamala posts are automatically demoted, and also admits shadow banning tactics. This alone, if true, should omit Facebook from being protected by Section 230. Section 230 is meant to protect social media networks who are platforms. When you are automatically deboosting, when you are putting your finger on the scale of the United States election, you are not a platform. You're a publisher, which means you should be open to massive lawsuits for interfering in the democratic process in this country. And some of the quotes are absolutely bonkers. Quote, say your uncle in Ohio said something about Kamala Harris is unfit to be president because she doesn't have a child. That's the kind of ish we automatically demote, reveals Facebook senior software engineer Javon Gaiwali to undercover O'Keefe media journalists. During a hidden camera interview, he confirmed the person would not be notified even, but they would see a decline in their post engagement and impressions, explaining that Meta's integrity team is responsible for controlling content through, quote, civic classifiers, a system that shadow bans posts without even notifying users. I'm going to take a second right now, not to talk about a sponsor, but if you haven't yet, and you're on your phone, okay, download the Rumble app. There is millions and millions of users on Rumble. I have 265,000 people that follow my content on Rumble. My live stream last night has 180,000 views, okay? Rumble is huge. Yes, the app needs improvement, but it's getting better. Download the Rumble app and start following your favorite content creators there, because Rumble won't participate in these shenanigans, but there are absolutely, wherever you're watching this video outside of Rumble, they will. Now, I still post my videos everywhere. Heck, I even created a Blue Sky account to post there. It's about reaching people, but I want people to watch my content where it will not be censored. He also revealed a specialized weapons and tactics team that was created by Meta, stating that there's a SWAT team that's already been set up since April, just to think about scenarios of how the platform could be taken advantage of. When asked if Meta is going to do their due diligence to protect democracy from, quote, disinformation, Guy Wally ensured that it's all going to be demoted 100%. And just so you know, when they say protect democracy, they mean promote Kamala Harris. They mean promote Joe Biden. They meant promote Hillary Clinton. This is not a tinfoil hat theory. This has been proven on Capitol Hill through legal testimony. There is no question about the fact that the government and Facebook have worked hand in hand to promote Democrats while demoting people like Donald Trump and probably every Republican across the board. When asked, you guys have the ability to influence the outcome of the election, he said yes, admitting Meta's power to sway political outcomes. When asked if Mark Zuckerberg, co-founder and CEO of Meta, supports Meta's political influence and agenda to help the Democratic Party, he answered yes, 100%. Now, if you're not following James O'Keefe, why? Oh, I'm in a different Twitter account right now because I've got to look at some tweets from a blocked account. But if you're not following James O'Keefe, make sure you do it. Listen to some of this stuff.
Say your uncle in like Ohio said something about like Kamala.
I'm just proving he said what he said.
Harris is isn't unfit to be a president because he doesn't have a child.
Okay.
That kind of shit is automatically demoted.
Whoops. Automatically demoted. Automatically demoted.
Wally, a senior software engineer at Meta.
Are they doing a good job protecting our democracy? Because I can see these like right-wing groups like setting up Instagram accounts or Facebook accounts for that matter, right?
What she's doing expertly is letting him know that she is a Kamala Harris supporter, that she believes the mainstream rhetoric that suppressing Republican or conservative points of view is actually the definition of protecting democracy.
And just start posting disinformation, be like, Harris is like blah, blah, blah.
That's all going to be demoted 100%. The civic classifier is strong.
The senior software engineer also goes on to say that, quote, the person would not be notified, unquote, if they were demoted because of their anti-Kamala Harris post on Meta, and red listed, that's a new term we just learned, red listed, meaning according to Collins Dictionary, things that are not permitted.
So if you are promoting anti-Kamala Harris, if you post anything anti-Kamala Harris on Facebook, your account will be shadow banned, essentially. Red listed is a different term. They changed the term from shadow banned to deboosted to, right of use but not right of reach or whatever X tried to say.
Would the person who posted that would he be notified that?
The person would not be notified, but there's these things that whether you collect.
So you won't be notified at all. They're just going to shadow ban your account.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means that if anything is related to political content, it's automatically like not shown.
We wanted to dive deeper into Meta's demotion of civic content, whatever that means, on their platform. The senior Meta software engineer Jiva states to our OMG American Swiper that they would, quote, automatically demote, unquote, content that might be critical of Kamala Harris.
Unconnected stuff is not going to show up in your feed. Like ads, I think can show up, and they probably have a whole different process of vetting ads.
Okay.
But like unconnected content, like say your uncle in like Ohio said something about like Kamala Harris isn't unfit to be a president because he doesn't have a child.
Okay.
That kind of shit is automatically demoted.
Now, if you remember back in 2019, we did a story about a Facebook insider that showed us internal practices being played out at Facebook regarding what they called deboosting as well. What was previously considered a conspiracy theory, now documented by this Facebook whistleblower that came out with us in 2019.
Every time I would see this deboost live stream kind of code on there.
And what does it mean when these documents say action deboost live distribution? What does the term deboost mean?
When I see reduce live distribution, it means preventing the distribution of this live feed.
And just 2 years after...
By the way, Donald Trump is going to need every vote. I've come up with an idea. Tailgates for Trump cookbook. 40 delicious, hilarious recipes like Nancy Pelosi's gin-soaked drizzle cake and many, many more. Get the cookbook. There's a couple of boxes of these left. It will ship on Monday. It's a hilarious conversation piece, a great gift for the not just a Trump supporter, but the Republican in your family, or anyone who hates Democrats, really. And have a party. Put this thing out, cook some recipes from it, and then register people to vote, and then go and vote with them. Make voting fun again. That's what Tailgates for Trump is all about. Get your cookbook. There's only a few left. Domestic only, by the way. Please. Shipping to international is too darn expensive.
After that, we got our hands on an insider tape that revealed Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and a top executive were punishing truth seekers.
And I've been clear that we have a number of efforts to find people and we terminate people and pursue the recourse that we have when we identify them. And in this case, we did find them.
Now in 2024, Jeevan from Meta, previously Facebook, mentioning continued practices of demoting content just a few weeks before the presidential election. The senior software engineer also goes on to say that, quote, the person would not be notified, unquote, if they were demoted because of their anti-Kamala Harris post on Meta.
They're not notified because they don't want somebody in the news to cover it.
Bob, I'm gonna do it anyway. What is your company doing to prevent that from happening?
God. Well, it's like
how are you guys gonna fight that?
Well, I mean, there is a SWAT team that's already set up since I think April to think about all the scenarios of how the platform could be abused.
The senior software engineer at Meta is asked about right-wing Meta accounts posting misinformation about Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And he states that these posts are, quote, all going to be demoted 100%. The civic classifier is strong, unquote.
Are they doing a good job protecting our democracy? Because I can see these right-wing groups setting up Instagram accounts or Facebook accounts for that matter, right? And just start posting disinformation, be like, Harris is blah, blah, blah.
That's all going to be demoted 100%. The civic classifier is strong.
Just last week, we saw former 2016 Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton state that if Meta doesn't moderate and monitor users' content, then, quote, we lose total control. Watch this.
I'd rather not. Get that Crypt Keeper off my screen. Download the Rumble app. Deal with a couple of the growing pains. Find your favorite content creators on there. Follow them on the platform. It does a great job notifying you. Lots of people are out there. I mean, look, some of my videos get, 30, 40,000 views. So that's 25% of what I'm getting on YouTube. This is a totally new audience, completely uncensored, completely unbiased. Download the Rumble app right now, follow the quartering, and at least watch my live streams there. I live stream at 1 Eastern, and then also anytime there's like a Kamala thing or a Trump thing or during the election, I live stream there. So after this, open your phone, download the Rumble app, follow the quartering, because it's only going to get worse as we get closer to the election, and I want to make sure I can reach you. And get your Tailgates for Trump cookbook, and we'll talk to you again real soon.